Welcome to another edition of Motivating Monday. My name is Robin, and I hope that this brief session will help encourage and uplift you for the rest of this week. So this morning, I would like to share a Bible verse which I believe can help motivate us all in our spiritual journey. It's taken from the book of John, chapter 6, verse 35, which reads, "And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst." So the use of the term bread of life is both intriguing and compelling to me. So bread is one of the oldest human-made foods since agriculture began. And today it still forms an important part of many cultures' diets. From the Middle East to Central Asia, Europe, or even the Americas, bread has become a staple of everyday meals, and it sustains millions of people's nutritional needs. In fact, the word bread has almost become like a metaphor for daily necessities. For example, a household's main contributor economically is often referred to as being the breadwinner. And we often hear the phrase putting bread on the table being used to refer to basic provisions for a family. And you've probably heard of the expression break bread with someone, which also means the act of sharing a meal together. So bread also played a role during the Jewish Passover meal. In Deuteronomy 16 verse 3, the Israelites were instructed as such: "Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayst remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life." So all of this plays into the description in John 6, when Jesus used the term bread of life. And in the same chapter, Jesus had performed the miracle of feeding about 5,000 men using 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes supplied by one of the boys, even with much to spare and left over afterwards. Jesus subsequently used this moment to teach a crowd of people seeking him, where in John chapter 6, verses 26 to 27, it was described that the people sought him not because of the miraculous signs, but because of the bread they ate, and they wanted more of the physical food. So Jesus told them not to labor for the food which perishes, but for the food which endures to everlasting life. The people then asked Jesus to perform a sign to prove that he was sent from God, and told Jesus that God gave them manna when their fathers were wandering in the desert. It was at this point that Jesus taught them that they need to seek the true bread from heaven that gives life, and referred to himself as the bread of life at this point. By doing this, Jesus was equating himself with God and also saying that he was essential for life. And the life he was referring to was not the one in the physical realm, but in the spiritual one. He was stating that he was the physical bread which could lead to eternal life spiritually. The people then were fixated on the physical needs of food and water, but Jesus was using the analogy of bread, a very well understood term for daily staples, to get them and help them to see what was needed spiritually. About 2,000 years later, I believe this fixation on needs in our physical lives persists even today. And thus this verse from John 6 motivates us that while we may still experience physical hunger and thirst and similar challenges faced in our lives here on earth, we can take heart that as long as we turn to Jesus and seek Him as the bread of life, we will be eternally satisfied in God's heavenly realms. I hope this short sharing has helped you today. I wish you a great week ahead, and thank you very much for listening. Holy